Right, seems we are live. Let me just do a quick check. Not sure. All right, seems like we are live and the audio should be fine. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's watching from different parts. Right, welcome to another Q&A. We try to do this pretty often, but unfortunately last week I was a little busy, so did not get much time. So this video, you can essentially ask any questions related to programming, related to architecture, or in anything that you have been working on. Just just a discussion forum that I do usually. By doing this, I myself learn a lot. For example, people sometimes say, "Hey, have you heard about this?" Then, well, I look into it and I learn myself too, right? So that's the reason I try to have some Q&A and yeah. So this week it was nice. We learned about a couple of new things, right? We learned about Kinesis, Kinesis Streams, Kinesis Firehose, Kinesis Analytics. We built an application called Clickstream Data. Essentially, we built a real-time pipeline to analyze click data, which is amazing. So we developed all that. We analyzed that data using Athena. We learned about Glue. We also learned about lake formation this week, AWS lake formation, how we can create lake formation, edit data lake, how we can partition the data, how we can query the data, how the object logs, this, that. So it was fun, right? Um, One more thing, right? 2021 is almost about to end. It was a great year. I've learned a lot, right? And we will keep learning, right? So what's the next learning goal for me, right? So for me, the next learning goal is, keep diving, keep digging more and more into big data. For example, Kinesis, Athena, Glue, this, that, all the new technology. For example, AWS Data Brew allows you to clean data now. So I've been learning about new things, keep reading, educate myself more and more on core concepts of Python, developing tools, developing microservices, APIs, deploying it on PyPy as an open source project. That's the goal, right? Contributing as an open source developer. So yeah, it's fun. But if you have questions, list your questions here and we can talk about that. I think we have a first question here. It's from Ila303. The question says, taking a multiple task and benchmarking it with coroutines, async IO, multi-threading, and parallel processing will be interesting. Yes, that's a great question. I think there is already content over the internet. The people have already done that, which is why I don't think I should redo that, because if someone has done it, might as well, we might refer to that. Why to take so much effort to see what he has done and then again make a video? But it's an interesting one. To be honest, behind the scene, they all are doing the same job, right? They have to execute things in parallel. Async IO is a new framework in Python 3.7 and above, which allows you to write coroutine, essentially just threads, threading, and then we have threading and of course processes. Threading can create several threads on one process, while processes run on a different core of a computer. For example, if you have a 4-core computer, so when you say a new process, it works on a complete new process, a core, right? So essentially that. But yeah, great question. Thank you so much. There has been great videos by Mr. David Beasley on Async IO. If you wanna, he's the guy, godfather of Python, I always say. But he has done some amazing work around developing frameworks on async. He has developed his own async framework, which is interesting. But yeah, so if you want to dig more deep into async, Mr. David Beasley is a great person to you should check out on YouTube. Yeah, any more questions, anything you want to talk about, I'm more than happy to discuss today. Also, these days I've been observing a lot of people in the industry for machine learning. So, doing machine learning is not a big deal, but having a continuous integration is also a big deal. So, what people try to do is they're using Apache Airflow to train their models, and they're developing. So once the model is trained, it dumped on S3 from that, the SageMaker, So all that pipeline essentially, it's pretty good to see all that. So yeah. Dhruv is here. He says, and says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Dhruv. Hope you're doing fine. Good to see you back, man. By the way, for people who are watching, Dhruv has a nice channel on YouTube. He teaches something on Flutter and stuff in Hindi. So if you're in India and if you want to get some tutorials in Flutter in Hindi, check out his channel. Pretty nice guy. So yeah. All right, what's going on, guys? So yeah, as I said, so have goals for yourself. If you don't have any questions, well, keep your goals. At least keep your goals for 2022. What do you want to do? For example, health, wealth, knowledge, right? So set up your goals on all the three, right? Health, mental health, physical health, uh, then wealth, of course, investing, right? Set up your goals on that. And knowledge, that is learning, right? Set up your goals. So have an equal balance on all the three. Anything, anything too much is not good as well. Extreme health or extreme wealth is not good, right? So keep a balance and hope you will be safe and healthy. All your family members as well. I hope you have your New Year resolutions 2022, right? So try to stick to that as well. So okay, so let's take some questions. We have a question from Mr. Reddy here. Says, "Good morning, Somil. Hi, Reddy, Mr. Reddy. I hope you're doing fine." Dhruv says, "I'm facing an error that my Flask app is not connecting to my SQL server." Well, try to read the error. Go to Stack Overflow, and maybe that might help you. So if I'm assuming you must be doing local development. I'm not sure if you're using Docker for MySQL, but if you're using Docker for MySQL, then make sure your ports are exposed, right? You can check by using Docker Container LS. Make sure your MySQL ports are exposed. If and then just check out the libraries and stuff. I mean, see what's giving you the error. Check the error message. Go to Stack Overflow, and that should be it, man. Let me know if you have problems. Shoot me an email with the error message. Maybe I can help you. Rajesh here says, "Can I take an elk stack as a career?" Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Elasticsearch I mean, 2 years back, I had a video where I said Elasticsearch is the future. And take a look now. It's 2021. Most of the industries are using Elasticsearch for their search stack. Pretty complicated search engines have been developed on Elasticsearch. It's a massive a field you can study a lot because it involves ingestion process, querying the data, maintaining the data, sharding the data. Is deep. Yeah, you can create an elk career in elk. By the way, my company recently hired an consultant for an. I mean, I interviewed that guy for Elasticsearch. He was from India. So yeah, I mean, a lot of companies are hiring Elasticsearch engineer. There is a lot of scope. As I said, elk. Yeah, there's a lot of scope. I was working on Elasticsearch from past 2 years now. I've been moving on different projects, so that's why we hired a consultant for Elasticsearch, so I can supervise his work. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, there is a lot of scope in Elasticsearch, but you have to be really, really good at that, right? Which means how to integrate things with machine learning, Kibana, Logstash, all these things you gotta be good at. But yeah, it's a nice field, but it's a very niche field, is what I would say. Uh, the scope is there, but it's a niche field. Not sure about how well elk is being used in India, but in US, as far as I know, in US, a lot of companies are using elk stack for their search engine, log searches, and stuff. But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. All right. Is there any more questions I can answer? I'm more than happy to, answer any questions that you have, programming, non-programming related, career advices, anything you want to talk about. It's a pretty good time to talk. So, yep. Dhruv has a question here. Let me read his question. Dhruv says, one more question, not related to code, but related to life. Is it good to work with 4 to 7 goals parallelly or work on one goal at a time and next and next and next? Oh, that's a really great question. It usually, based on the research, we human beings are not a good multitasker, which means if you're trying to do 2 to 3 things at the same time, you won't be able to focus on one thing and you would lose your efficiency. So what I would say is, if you have 4 to 7 goals, essentially maybe break down into weeks or days. For example, today I'm gonna focus on this part, or tomorrow I'll do this part, right? But doing 10 minutes here, then 10 minutes there, then 10 minutes there will lead you end up nowhere, right? Which is why I said we want to set up goals, and then essentially maybe daily or weekly, and then keep switching between them. But doing everything 4 or 5 things in parallel will lead you nowhere. This is from my personal experience, right? When I'm doing YouTube, I only do YouTube. I don't think about, oh, what's going on in my office programming. Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? No, because then I would end up nowhere. I need to channelize my thought in one direction, and put my focus, right? So that's what I would say. For example, I also have my learning goals, right? So in morning, always in morning, Saturday, Sunday, I have to learn something. So I try to just go to LinkedIn Learning or Pluralsight and just randomly look up something, and keep learning. So my suggestion there would be, take a piece of paper and write whatever you want to do within a month or a week, okay, and then give points to that out of 10. For example, task number 1, 4 out of 10; task number 3, 7 out of 10. So based on the now the points, which is more important, and then take that task first, complete it, and then mark a slash against that task. Why to do that? Because it gives a sense of completeness. Like when you complete the task, you'll feel nice. Oh, I at least did something. So yeah. Sami Asif here says, is it possible to get an opportunity as a data engineer with 6 months of experience? Yeah, I mean everything is possible, right? I mean it all depends upon your skills and what company you are applying to, what they require, right? So, for example, some companies might be working on AWS, but if you have data skills on GCP, well, it's not going to be too useful. You know what I mean? So the answer is yes, is what I would say. ESPI says hi, hello, how are you doing? Sachin here says, hey Somil, what's up? Nothing much, Sachin. Just live Q&A. ESPI says, what's your current career path? As in, what are you trying to be? A data scientist, engineer, or anything specific? Wow, that's a great question. My current, so I have done, as I said, I have done a lot of Python programming since couple of years, 3 to 4 years. Now, I started as an intern, moved as a software engineer, full stack, now data engineer. Now, essentially, today I'm leading a team of a couple of people, 4 to 5 people. So what I'm trying to now go, I am a software engineer, but I'm trying to lead more towards management and leadership roles, which means I try to guide out new developers that come into the company. Hey, what about, nah, maybe you gotta do this way. Hey, the package name should be this way. What about, why are you writing code this way? Couldn't you do it that way? So, making sure they're doing it the right way, proposing architectures for them. Hey, when they come, oh, we want to build this. Okay, well, why did you use this database? What about that database? Don't you think you need a non-relational versus this one? So try to, teach, mentor them. Of course, and myself, of course, I have to keep up with the technologies and framework and pass on to the junior developers. But to answer your question is more on leadership role, and of course keep learning on my side as I keep doing AWS, software engineering. As I said, my more core skills are with ETL and backend, not with front end. Because I don't know Angular and React, but yeah, I can write a front end app. But is that my skill? No, my skill lies in Python and backend. So which is why I try to focus more and more on what I am good at. Because now if I try to learn React, Angular, Vue, that's a whole new era, right? I would be lost. I should be rather focusing on things that I'm good at, right? AWS, backend, Python. So I try to focus on these 3 things and go much deep in that. For example, if anyone comes to Python and challenges me, man, I know a lot. Like I can proudly say at this point, like 3 to 4 years of Python programming, I've done a lot of Python. I know in and out about the entire language now, meta classes, data classes, how to make frameworks in Python, everything, right? Instead, I could have done this like little bit Go, little bit C Sharp, little bit Java, end up nothing, right? But rather what I did, I took one language and I did everything. Data science, data engineering, vision, AI, everything is in Python, right? So I became good at Python. I hope that helps. We have Code with Drew says, thanks. Okay, that's great. All right, any more questions that I can answer? More than happy to answer any questions if you have. All right, guys, if you have any more questions, please feel free to post your questions in the comments. And please, guys, have your New Year resolution goals and try to stick to that. As I said, health, wealth, and knowledge, three things that you should be focusing this year. Health, of course, physical, mental, both health is good, and emotional health as well. I mean, all the three healths. Then wealth, of course, try to save money, investing, right? One quick tip that I want to show you, and this will blow everybody's mind on YouTube. I just want to show you. Let me open up the website, and then I'll take a few questions on the. I want to show you something on the wealth side. Hold on. Fidelity investment calculator, and this will how you can end up like a millionaire. And this is no kidding, man. Give me one second while I open this up. Give me one sec while I show you that part. As I said, guys, have your goal for the new year, and let me see if I can find the website, then I'll show you what I'm saying. One sec. Yeah. Where is that website? Last night? Oh, this one. Yeah. Now I'm gonna show you. Hold on. So, of course, health. Try to go to the gym, eat healthy, protein shakes, mass gainer, take vitamin tablets. Have your goals, man. Right? So, okay. Now, so that's about the health, right? Now, knowledge. You keep learning from YouTube, plural site. Now, wealth, right? So, let me share my screen, man. Over here, this is just out of curiosity. How do you become a millionaire, right? Say you started with $10,000 of investment. Okay, very small, 10,000. If you're in US, say for example, I invested that money for 5 years. Okay, the rate of return I'm getting is about 40%, and I'll show you a share that gives you 40% consistently. Okay, 40% is a minimum I'm getting. Every month I'm, let's say, putting $200 in that. Every month I'm putting $200. Out of curiosity, take a look. Within 3 years, you would have made $94,000. Just $10,000 you started. I'm putting in $200 every month. 3 years, $94,000. Okay, fast forward this. 10 years. $600,000. For 10 years, you keep putting $200 in an ETF. You made $600,000. Okay, fast forward. Let's say now you pass this on to your kids. You did not even sell. Let's put 20 years. $23 million. This is the art of compounding, because let's say the ETF is giving 40%. First year 40%, right? Next year again 40%, and that 40% also will compound. Then double of that, then double, then double. Your money is compounding. So 20 years, okay, out of curiosity, 50 years. $1 billion. So for example, when you pass on your shares to your kids, right? And they are doing the same thing. Become a billionaire. It's not a fucking joke, right? So if you put it for 10 years, 600,000, 10,000 with the basic 10,000, you start with 10, you for 10 years, 40% return, $200 every month. We're calculating inflation too in this 2% inflation, tax rate of 40%. See how your money compounds. Year one, invested 11,000, simple interest 4,000, compounding 800. Year two, now that money is gonna double. Look at the interest, simple interest 9,000, compound interest 4,000. Bang, double, 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 double. You see the art of investing. Now you'll say, oh yeah, what should I invest in? Well, SPY, TQQ, and even if you're from India, you can invest using an app called End Money. I'm trying to show you the way, as I said, health, wealth, and knowledge. Three things that we should be focusing at, right? Health, very important. Gym, go to running, take a bicycle and go for a bike ride. Then the second thing comes is knowledge. Well, knowledge, YouTube, LinkedIn Learning, plural sites, Stack Overflow, Udemy. Comes wealth, right? Wealth essentially comes from investing, comes from saving, right? So have your goals for 2022. So as I said, investing is really good. Take a look at the big picture and not at the short term. Keep investing money in an ETF, and after 10 years, you'll earn a millionaire. And this is no joke. You can Google it up yourself. That's the power of compounding. Your money compounds. Every year compounds. First year, let's say the ETF gives 40% return. Let's say you made 4,000. Next year, again that 4,000, and that 4,000 is going to compound. So 8,000 compounds. After 10 years, see how much money you will have. But just wanted to show you, maybe, all you need is like 200 or $10, $20 a day, man. or a month, and see the magic of compounding. So, yep. Now let's see. Oh, there are a lot of questions. Is it possible to get? Okay, I've answered that. ESPI says, "What's your current?" Oh, I think I answered that as well. Mr. Reddy says, "2021 has been a good year for me. I got converted from my intern to a full time. Your videos on LStack have helped me a lot. Thank you very much. I'm glad, man, Mr. Reddy. Thank you so much for your comment." ESPI says, "Yes, sweet. Any chance that you would like to mentor? I have followed you for a while and would be fabulous to be mentored by you, ma'am." I'm sure if you could send me an email on once I have some free time, maybe I could provide you some guidance there. Roshan says, "How can I check how much request my server can handle? Bought $5 server in DigitalOcean." That's a great question, Roshan. There's a tool called what was this tool called? JMeter. So JMeter allows you to monitor performance on how much requests you can handle. So take a look at something called JMeter. Rajesh says, "I'm working as an Elk developer and I have a Node.js experience and well, but I'm a bit confused with my career path. Should I continue whether Node.js and Elk learning or Python and ML technologies on Elk?" It's a great question. I would say keep, I would say be good in what you know. For example, if you know Node.js in and out pretty well, right? So why do you wanna switch to Python just because it's a buzzword, right? Or all I'm trying to show you is if you're really good at Node.js and Elk, then continue that path, right? Um, I don't see any reason for you to move again into a new field and then spending much time and learning that. So my suggestion, continue with Node.js and Elk. And if you get free time, yeah, of course, learn a little bit about Python and Elk and stuff like that. But if you really know Node.js so well, so I would say continue with that. That's what I did, right? I was good at Python. I did not do, okay, Go a little bit, C Sharp a little bit, JavaScript a little bit. Then I would end up nowhere, right? Like little bit here and there. But I went so deep in Python. As I said, and I'm repeating these words, meta class, data class, threading, parallel, I made frameworks, so much. But I went completely deep in Python. I mean, because I wanted to know the language in and out, right? So all I'm trying to say is, if you love Node, go for it, man. Go in and out in it. Is all I'm saying. That's that. Rajesh, excuse me. We have a question from Rajesh Tech Kid. "I'm working with Elk developer and oh, I think I answered that. Sorry, again, I'm reading. Sami Asif says, "Hey, I have some query for one task in AWS and got stuck. I need your help. Please tell where should I raise that." Well, you can send me an email at shasumil519@gmail.com and we can take it from there. Then Roshan says, "How can I set specific tasks for one worker?" How can I set a specific task for? Are you saying for the node? Because node is as far as my knowledge is, node is based. As far as I know, node is not a multi-process language. I mean, it cannot do multiple things like Python has threads and processes. No, in node you cannot do that because it's built on a single thread. I might be wrong, but please correct me if I'm wrong. As far as my knowledge is concerned, I don't think Node supports concurrency, is what I would say. So for that, that's why we have Python and other language which supports processes and threads essentially. Uh, ESPI says, "Need some suggestions for Docker, Airflow, something to solidify these skills." Well, first thing is I would learn what Airflow is, right? I have a nice getting started with Airflow tutorial. What are DAGs? What are how you can run task in parallel. So learn about all of that. Once the basics are clear, then you can I think everything is on Python, man, these days, like Celery, Airflow, whatever, all that. Mostly it's Python, right? So if you understand the language properly, you should be easy to pick up things, is what I'm saying. Um, all right. We have Roshan again says, "Two Celery workers running. I want to set task one, only go to Celery worker one, and task two, oh, I don't think that's possible. I don't think you could do that in Celery because, as I said, I might be wrong, but as far as I know, and I have worked on Celery, is when you set up a worker, when you set up a task, any of the workers that's available, they pick it up. You can set up priorities, but I don't think you can say, oh no, just go to this work or not that. As far as I know, and I could be wrong, as I said. Trilokesh here says, hey Somil, Merry Christmas. Now I'm a Python developer, but I want to learn Apache Airflow. Is it possible? Yeah, I mean, Apache Airflow is what? What is Apache Airflow? It's just a framework, right? It's built on Python, right? If you know Python, you can write DAGs in Airflow. It's just a scheduler that runs a Python code on a task. So yeah, of course. I mean, it's easy. It's not that. How do I put it? This is what I say. It's not a rocket science, right? You know, Python, you can easily pick up Airflow and anything. I have some tutorials. Watch that, and it should be easy. It's not a rocket science. So yeah, of course. We have a question from Shashi. Says, sir, I'm an undergraduate student in data science specialization in India. My dream is to do a master's in USA and get a job in USA. Please give me some tips like me freshers to get good jobs in USA. It's great. First of all, I'm glad that you have such a great vision that you want to pursue your masters. That's a great thing. For you to pursue skills, if you want to pursue your skills in data science, is as I said, try to, and you learn all this in masters too. But as I said, Apache Airflow, AWS, big data, Hadoop, then EMR, Athena, Glue Crawler. All these are things that you need to master in order to be good at data science. Because as a data science, you'll be reading data from S3 data lake. You'll be performing ETL workloads, that is Glue essentially. Maybe EMR sometimes. Analyze data using their online AWS tools, for example. Athena, query the data, then build dashboards on QuickSight. So yeah, I think the journey towards the cloud is where you need to master your skills, and of course Python as well. Data science, of course, you need Python, right? Pandas, Dask, all that frameworks, should be knowing in and out, and of course to crack the interviews, data structures and algorithms. So that's my advice. We have a next question here from Vedas. Where he says, hey, I am currently a software developer and I want to pursue a master's in machine learning. So could you suggest me a nice universities that provide ML course for MS? That's great, first of all. I do not know where you are trying to pursue your MS in ML. Is it in back in India or is it is it in US? For things in ML, so what I have personally seen is, and this is a big statement, is like these universities are great, but you end up paying so much money, right? I would rather take courses on LinkedIn, Pluralsight, try things out, because most of if you're in India, I mean, if you're trying to do it in India, it will be so much theory, right? They'll be like, oh, what is neuron, what is bias, what is A, this, that, mathematical equation. Practical application would lack, right? What you really need to get a job in machine learning is you need to master SageMaker. You need to know the right tools and you need to do practical on AWS and cloud platform. Because if you do some training on your computer, when you come to work, you're not going to do training on your local machine, right? You need to know about SageMaker, how to use that, how to create pipelines using Airflow to train your model. So practical application really matter, as I said, which is why I said courses, YouTube videos are the best place to learn and to get practical knowledge. Book knowledge, you can always get it from any books but this is what I said. But so my suggestion is to take some courses and watch videos and read blogs and try them by yourself, which is what will give you some practical knowledge instead of theory for machine learning. In terms of universities, I do not know. I haven't done any, MS in machine learning. I've done my master's in computers. So yeah. Says, do we need a math in for ML? The answer is depends. If you are in an ML for research based, which means you're developing and you're researching new mathematical, you're trying to develop new groundbreaking models, then you need a mathematic. So there are two things in ML, right? Three things I would say. One, the guy who usually does research, which means who reads a lot of papers, different models, and see how he or she can optimize, come up with a mathematical equations, and then does that. Second one in the ML guy is who essentially writes software or algorithm for that. The third person is the product based in machine learning, which means you know a certain set of skill set, you wanna take those skill set and apply it towards the product, because then when you are working in a product based company, they don't care about, I mean, how do I put this? What's more important is how you're applying your knowledge and bringing things to the product, right? How you improving the product. They don't care about, oh, you optimize by 0.1 or you're using ADA grade or bias this. No, they don't care. We need things out to production, right? So it really depends on where you are in ML, right? What sector are you? Are you in a research based stuff? Are you in a product based company? So it really, really depends, as I said. Trilokesh says, thanks a lot. I have another question. When I when I'm deploying a task in a server, it's throwing an error, but local it's working fine. How to fix the issue? Any suggestion? Well, of course, I couldn't make out just by reading why it's throwing error in the server, right? Maybe some configurations or networking issues or some ports. It's really hard to comment on that. You really need to do some debugging there, is what I would say. Sashi Kiran says, Sir, I'm in engineering. I am getting deviated from studies. Is it happened with you also you are when you are pursuing engineering? Yes, that is correct. Yes, I also got deviated, but we always gotta be focused and take a look at the big picture, right? When I was doing engineering, I had, as I said, I had a lot of family problems, right? I came from a middle class family. We have one small room. I used to sleep in the kitchen, right? We did not had a bedroom at that time, right? Always, fights and all, joint family. So it was hard to focus, right? I couldn't focus on my career. No, I never had an air conditioner or no, not proper bed. We used to sleep on the ground with just one, whatever. So yeah, I know it's hard. I understand, but you gotta stay focused, right? If you want to be something, if you want to get to your dreams, you gotta put all these things on the side and focus on the big picture. As I said, if you feel like deviated, go to library, try reading books, try taking a day off, and try to motivate yourself, try to take a look at the big picture in life, and then be focused and keep learning, and that would take you, great places in your life. So yes, I also do get distracted when I was back doing my engineering, because it's just so theory, and write assignments, no practical knowledge. But as I said, I kept on going, I kept on doing things, right? And today this is where I am, right? So hopefully that helps you. That does help you. Yeah. Okay, so the next questions from video chat says, what's your take on Google Cloud for data engineering, considering Google has a great AI platform? See, this is now we are jumping into it depends on industry, my friend, right? So for example, my company, we work on AWS, right? So in there, if you have skills on Google, doesn't we don't need Google skill, right? So it really depends. If you are good in Google, like GCP and stuff, then apply for company that has scope that has their infrastructure on Google. But because if you're applying for something, the company that has infrastructure on AWS, now you gotta learn everything again, understand everything, but so I hopefully you get what I'm trying to say, right? So so it doesn't matter, as I said, whatever, pick up a cloud platform, be good at that, and then choose your company that is working on that cloud, right? So it's what I would say. But I think most of the major companies are on AWS, is what I feel. You can do a quick Google search on what companies, the number trending cloud platform from AWS, GCP, and Azure, and you can see the percentage, and hopefully that will tell you. All right, Sami says, give your email ID. All right, my email ID is, there you go. Roshan says, Trilokesh, try to deploy your project with Docker. This will make deployment easy and local and production too. Yep, that is correct. Yeah, because if you are working with Docker, if it works on your computer locally, it's gonna work on cloud too because same image, same OS. So that's a great suggestion, Roshan. Yep. Shiv Prakash says, hey Somil, I just started watching your AWS Boto 3 playlist. It's really helped me in my projects. Thanks for that. Can you please recommend any more reference related to the same? Much thanks. Yeah, there is a nice guy on YouTube. I forgot his name. I think it's his name is Raj. He's a nice. He makes a lot of video with AWS. Then Cloud Guru is also one of a channel that makes stuff. But I would now see the problem with the videos are, those are like the videos are pretty long. You gotta, the first of all they'll come and say, hello guys, good morning, blah blah blah. Then the content starts and then the end. My suggestion, if you wanna go fast pace, try reading blogs and articles. In that you can quickly surf down, you can quickly read and go through it. So try that approach, and if that doesn't work, then go for videos. So my first approach is always I go to the documentation, quickly go through that. If I understand, good. If I not understand, then I go to YouTube videos or courses. But first approach should be quickly grab documentation and just see, okay, bam 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 bam, okay, makes sense, and Stack Overflow, as I said. There's a question, what's your camera? Well, I'm using a camera called Sony ZV-1. That's the one that I'm using. Can we make a Docker images out of data pipelines? Can we make a Docker images out of data pipelines? Could you define the question a little bit better? Do you mean you want to define data? Do you want to create data pipelines with Docker? Is that what you're saying? Well, then the answer is yes, because what is pipeline? It's a microservice. Well, something comes in through an API, you'll perform some action and it will spit something out, or output something from that. Yeah, you could build Docker pipelines as well. Yeah. I mean, behind the scenes, AWS and all, they're doing the same thing, right? When you say they create a data pipeline, they're essentially doing, spinning up services and, trying to build their things. You could do that in Docker too, right? So for example, let's say you're developing some processing workload. So Airflow behind the whatever, or Salary behind the scenes, the job is take a task, return the task ID, performs that. So to the user, it's a black box, it's a pipeline. So yeah, the answer is yes. All right, we'll take a couple of more questions and then we would wrap up for the day, okay? And now I would directly see you in Jan 2022, and I hope you will be safe, healthy. Remember three things: health, wealth, and knowledge. Always try to focus, keep a balance on all the three things. There's a question from video chart says, I am a Java data engineer and want to start with ML. How do you recommend we start? Well, first thing, since you're Java, try to get started with Python, the syntax, right? Classes, oops, threading, processing, then go to libraries, NumPy, SciPy, Pandas, Dask. After that, try to go to scikit, see different models, for example, classification models, then regressor models, then go with TensorFlow, then go with PyTorch, and yada yada yada. So all that is where I would start. So I would start with Python and then I would go with that way. Ankit says, hello. Hi Ankit, good to see you, man. We will take a couple of more questions and then we should be wrapping up for the day, okay? Can you make a video on Fast API? I think I do have a video, Anchit, on Fast API, so hopefully that should help you out. Will you be making videos on ML? Not any. I already have few videos from the past, but on the present, I'm not planning any videos on ML. My plan, yeah, sorry, my bad, Anchit. I said Ankit before, so my bad. So video chat, no. At this point, my goals are more towards data engineering and microservices, pipeline, AWS. Those are the things that I'm planning to learn. ML, I don't do much on ML in my work, so yeah. Roshan says, you missed my question, sir. Sorry, I did not see your question. What was your question? Or any time for scheduled task? Could you again please type your question? Not sure because there are a lot of comments, so maybe it got lost on that. If you could kindly post a question, I'm more than happy to answer. Video chat says this is really good session. Please make more of this. Thanks. Yeah, as I said, I'll try keep doing at least thrice a week or once in a month. I'll try coming live and maybe answering people's question. Yeah, I'll try. Anchit says, can we use celery with Flask without Redis or RabbitMQ? The answer is, can we use celery without? Can we use celery? Oh no, sorry. Can you use celery with Flask without Redis or RabbitMQ? Without Redis or RabbitMQ. No, you need a messaging queuing system. So either you have to use Redis or RabbitMQ or anything. You need a messaging system essentially. So the answer would be no, and I can be wrong. As far as my knowledge is, as far as I know, the answer should be no. Because then it's like saying like a thread, right? Without the Redis and isn't it just like a thread? Anytime a request comes in, you're launching a new thread, right? A background process. So it makes no sense if you remove Redis and RabbitMQ because you want to queue things, right? And then you want to take easily at a leisurely pace. So the answer is no. Yeah. All right. Any more questions? We'll take few more questions for the day, and then we should be wrapping up. Have you used BigQuery? No, I have not used BigQuery, but I have used Athena. I use mostly most of the things on AWS. I think BigQuery is something from Google, as far as I know, but I have not used. Yeah, it's on GCP. Yep, I said Google. Yep, that's correct. BigQuery. All right. Any more questions? I'll take one last question for the day, and then see you guys in 2022. So yeah, one last question. Anyone that you have, any one question that I can answer, and then we'll wrap up the session for the day. Okay, we'll take the question for Veda. Says tomorrow we will be having this live session. Nope, tomorrow we won't be having a session. The next session might be directly on after in 2022 now. Okay, so I think we have answered a lot of questions, and I would try to wrap up the session here. Once again, I want to say thank you to everyone. Stay safe. Please, please, please stay safe. Have your New Year resolution goals. Three things: knowledge, health, and wealth. Most important thing. Um, Anything one, too much of one thing is bad as well. So have a balance between all the three. With that being said, I hope all of you and your family members are safe and healthy. Keep smiling, keep learning, and please have your New Year resolution goals and try to stick with that. Once again, thank you for watching. If I haven't answered any of your questions, please send me an email and I will get back to you on the email as soon as I can. Stay safe. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas.